Hey, what's up, guys? I am Matt, and this is My Crazy Podcast, episode 92. Who are you?
Yo, this is man. Good in the ass, man.
Cool, I like that.
Okay. Who are you?
Colin Rose, follow me on Instagram.
It's Morris, it's just me.
And I'm Matt again for redundancy's sake. What's up, guys? Colin, explain yourself. It's been a while since... Well, no one on this channel. We just moved My Crazy Podcast to a separate channel, but people who are fans of My Crazy Productions may remember you from The Boys.
That's
What
right.
have you been up to?
So since then, I moved out to Troy, in the Albany area.
Hot.
I was selling cars for about 2 years. Okay.
What?
Oh, I thought you were saying something.
No, that's just what Jim
Yeah.
does. Jim's the hype man for the podcast. Like, so when you'll just say something, he'll just be like...
So he's in the background like, you.
He's the choir you're preaching to.
There you go. He's Little John.
He's there to sing it back to you.
Little John.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah, there it is.
So you're selling cars.
Yep, for about 2 years, and then came to the decision, maybe I should get back into school, go for my bachelor's.
What?
Get back out there. So moved back down, and then COVID hit, so it was like,
I feel that.
what's the point
It'd be
being
like
out
that.
here? And then we already had a date of when we were going to move back, so it was like, this is 2 months before the date, and I was like, fuck it. Like, we might as well just do it now. So we're both like, yeah, let's go back.
Okay.
Appropriate.
I'm glad you're back. I'm glad.
You too, thank you.
It's been a while. I missed you.
I know, I missed everybody here, man. It was crazy.
Yo, because, I mean, I don't think, obviously, many people, if anyone who's watching this now may not
He hasn't
remember
seen me in person since before my beard.
Yeah, none of this. None of this. That's why I pulled up. I seen him post a picture on Instagram, and I was like, no fucking way. And then I seen it in person. He's got this big ass beard, and I was like, I remember nothing.
Do you want to feel it?
Like, I remember this.
You want to touch it?
Yeah, let me touch it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
hot. Yeah, touch that.
I love it. I love it.
It's majestic.
Probably get a lot of food in there.
Sometimes. Not for nothing. You gotta commit to the beard life. So
It's a hazards of
you
the
kind of
trade.
gotta figure out how to eat your favorite foods without making a mess.
Yep.
Or just try to be as neat as fucking possible. Or don't give a fuck.
You carry a comb?
A lot of times.
Nice.
Comb, if I don't know, if there's a whole lineup of fucking
Are you feeling
oils
beard
and
jealousy right now? Is that what this
A little
is?
bit.
oils
I
and
can feel it.
waxes and everything like that. You just gotta go for it, man.
I tried growing it out, and like, I don't know
You
if
just
you
gotta
see it.
fucking
Perfect
go
time.
for
It's
it.
Good
like
to see
right
you.
here. I actually just did this the other
Just
day,
gotta
but
go
like
for it,
right
man.
here, it doesn't grow.
It's not noticeable
Because
once it
what
grows
you gotta
out.
do is go
It's
get
barely
the
noticeable
stick.
now, honestly.
You gotta get the little face
I feel like I
roller
always see
thing.
it.
It's this face roller thing. It's got little mini needles on it.
Oh, microderm.
Yeah, and it fucking opens up your pores and stimulates the hair follicles. And it's like kind of like
Microdermabrasion.
Merlin, but like the reverse.
My friend's a licensed esthetician. She could probably do it for you.
Hey, look that
Yeah,
up.
but that's, that thing's probably only $30 compared to $300 going to see that person.
Or just fucking try it out. It's quarantine.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who are you? You're not like you're going to meet the fucking Queen of England right now,
Yeah, exactly. How long?
I wouldn't give a fuck anyways.
Test it out.
I'll go this, I'd wear this for my cut.
Am I the only one
Dude,
that wants...
I'd do a burnout right in the middle of fucking Buckingham Palace.
Am I the only one that would want to go down on the Queen of England?
No.
They're evil. We don't even joke about liking them. They are monsters.
I don't care. I don't like them. But imagine how much...
They're not even British.
Imagine
They're
how
German.
how much like free clout you get like for going down on the... I could be like, yo, I went down on the Queen of England. Like,
He said free clout.
free clout. I'm on some Tekashi shit. Except that I'm not snitching. Oh no, I am snitching. Cause I'm like, I
Yeah, you're snitching it out.
It is not a
You're snitching
joke. The
yourself
royal
out.
family are that is like a serious, horrible, like
Now we're gonna go missing if we ever go to London.
fucked up. Yeah, I know because I'm gonna get killed.
That's how
now.
I'm remaining silent.
Yeah. Anyways, Joe. Not Joe.
Are you wearing a mouse rat hat right now?
Yes, I am.
I love that.
I'm happy someone got the reference.
I enjoy it. Did you see the special thing that they all did?
No, I didn't.
For all the Parks
They
and
all
Rec
got
people.
together.
Oh,
And they got together on like a Zoom thing, and like all of them like made like a little mini like update like Parks and Rec special, like as if they were all like Zooming each other, or Leslie's like they're all getting in contact with each other.
Hot.
And it was everybody, and it was awesome. It was really cute. It was great, and they sang a song together.
Talking
I
about
gotta watch
quarantine content being made, one of the greatest shows to come out of this Quarantine is Some Good News by John Krasinski, and apparently he just sold it to CBS.
Really? For
Yeah,
how much?
I don't know. It's never disclosed, and
Simps.
I don't think it wasn't enough where people like started snitching. But here's the kicker, though. He's not hosting it anymore. So he basically just sold the poster. His daughter get in the background and said, "All right, cool, I'm out.
Yeah,
Thanks.
my job's done.
Y'all can get a host. You're good."
He's like, I'm pumping him out for you kids. That's what he's doing.
But yo, get the bag. There's another person who got the bag though.
I'm looking forward to see after this how many movies and shows are not going to deal with a viral outbreak.
Well,
That's going to be like a huge spike.
But here's the thing. I don't mind talking about it on the podcast because it's not that original idea. The way I'm going to go about it is going to be more original, but the concept not that original, so I don't mind talking about it. I've had I know words. I said a lot of words in a circle. It's okay. So I actually have had an idea for a zombie film since I was 14, where it's like it deals with like quarantine. Not
Matt says it's fan fiction time.
yeah, facts. But no, my idea was like instead of because all zombie movies they all take over the world. I don't believe that. We quarantine them, and then then the movie has to deal with. All right, now we have all these people that, things that we think are people quarantine. Yeah. How long do we quarantine them? When do we just decide? All right, we gotta kill them off. And it's at a point where it's like they don't know if it's viral, so there are some being airborne. So they have some people that are just like and it deals with like the aspect
could be
of
used
that
as like a racial commentary movie because then they're like, how do we find out who's not infected? Like one of those things, and they're like,
well, yeah,
that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's a lot of ideas that I had, and I was just like,
but in that voice,
I was kind of self-aware. I was like, I'm 14 years old. Sounds kind of dumb, but there's like some political ideas that I had. I was just like, that wouldn't happen. No president would do that. Now we have Trump.
Yeah.
Shit happened.
Some of the ideas I've had when I was 14, like if a quarantine happened,
it's coming to fruition.
Trump's done them, and this was like me as a 14-year-old.
So it does work like TV.
I was like, yeah.
Let me fix that real quick.
Yeah,
I was like looking at it, and I'm like, I see it
yeah.
going down and down.
That
I was
usually
like,
happens to
I'm like,
me.
is it just me?
There we go.
There you go. Cool.
But yeah, so but even at 14, I was just like, this sounds too crazy. I'm not gonna write this. But now I'm actually just starting to like.
Piece it together.
Is it like brain eating zombies, or is it kind of like on the border? Like they
Or
could,
is it like
they
World
could
War
be
Z,
ill.
like psycho mode, like crazy, like
yeah,
super
like,
strong?
Is it just like crazy ill people? Is it like a full fledged?
Are they
I'm gonna eat
frothing
flesh
at the mouth?
zombie.
My idea. World War Z is the closest, but I don't like how World War Z.
They're vicious.
I don't like how fast they were. They're gonna be slow zombies.
They were like superhuman.
Are you talking where like they gotta die and become it, or like they catch a disease when they're human and turn into like these kind of zombie-like things, rabid people?
That's kind of ambiguous. That's part of the reason why some people are quarantined and some people are not.
It's like in Shaun of the Dead where they just don't address that. Like it's obviously a thing and they just don't ever address it. Like why this is happening.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a little.
They try to and they're like, psych, for your kidding.
It's a little.
They said it. Like, if you listen carefully in those news things in Shaun of the Dead, it's like some sort of outbreak.
Yeah, but
it was like a
if you look at news now, you go to one station, it'll say one thing. You go to another station, it'll say another thing. So that's kind of the perspective I even had back then. Is that
it'd be cool like a skin contacted one, like that'd be cool. Like imagine that, like a special, like specifically skin contacted like zombie disease, and then you start becoming a zombie from that part. It's kind of like necrosis,
that's essentially
but worse.
kind of like The Walking Dead. Like,
I read all the comics,
and then you turn into a zombie.
I've never watched Walking Dead.
I don't think you don't need to be even bit.
No, that's
right?
what they think at first, but then they realize, and they're like, we've all been infected. That was like a season finale once, I think. And then you just have to die first, and when you die, you become a zombie no matter what, unless you're like...
Unless you're shot in the head when you die. So, yeah, no, that was kind of my idea back then, and I was just like, since the quarantine, that's one of the projects. See, I've just been writing a mad amount of shit since quarantine. And that's just one of those ideas that now... It seems realistic, but all my ideas, it's interesting you said that because a lot of my ideas, I debate, it's like, do I want to reference the quarantine? Because I'm thinking about longevity. Dr. Dre said... Is
it in of poor taste?
Well, no, because Dr. Dre used to tell artists when he had them write for him, or he's like, don't say what year it is. Obviously, there's some times where he let it slide, but he's like, don't say what year it is. That immediately dates the song.
It does. It makes it really hilarious.
Yeah. Listen to Still DRE. He doesn't mention what year it is. Still fire. Still, that rings off just as hard today as it did before. It doesn't sound dated at all.
Release the Detox.
Yeah, facts. Do it. We're in quarantine. Please, just give us everything.
Release the Detox.
But, so that's why I'm just kind of struggling. It's like, if we start to get better, well, we're not going to be fully okay until we have a vaccine. I understand that. But if we don't start to, like, open up soon, then I feel like it really depends on how long this takes. The longer this takes, this is going to be a huge mark on history or just, like, a little blip that's going to be a paragraph in a history book. Yeah. Like,
they're going to be like, in the future, they're going to be like, haha, remember that? What the fuck was that about? And then, like, move on,
Exactly. My thing is, like, is this going to be the entire chapter of 2020, or is this just a paragraph? So that's why I'm still debating on how much I want to put it in some of the other projects. So for the most part, I just haven't referenced it at all in any of the other stuff. But this one is just, like, fully, obviously.
2020 has been crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No one even talked about the aliens.
Yeah. Right? They released that footage. They released the UFOs, and they were like, man, we'll stick to the virus.
Yeah, people are too concerned about this shit that's going on right now that can kill them right now immediately than UFOs that are just, like, looking at us and shit like that. Like, that just proves that I feel like after this whole pandemic thing, that's going to come to fruition, and we're going to go and find out a lot more than they're just releasing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, you ever heard of fucking Bob Lazar?
Exactly.
Or what's the other guy that
I watched that.
Yeah, like, I don't know. This is like, I know you guys hear me talk about it all the time, but that's like my brand is like weird, like high strangeness, monsters, crypto, like all kind of like ghosts and shit like that.
Colin's just meeting you. It's fine.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm like, sorry for you guys. I know you guys hear this shit all the time. But
that's fine. I'm dating you.
I'm always talking monsters and like weird shit like that. So that's kind of like my brand.
Yeah, I'm all down for weird conspiracy theory shit, man.
Yeah. No.
I'm all for it. There's some things that just don't make sense blatantly, but like...
Oh, yeah, no, I don't believe in Flat Earth, but I definitely have always believed aliens.
Yeah, no, the Flat Earth is some fucking retard. Like,
the other guy's name?
I'm sorry, but you're retarded.
Flat Earth is so funny. I love it.
Hate
it's
to
so
use
funny.
the hard but
the hard R.
The hard R word, but you're retarded.
No, for sure. Yeah, I was about to say something, but I was totally just, like, kicked off of it for a second.
I'm sorry.
You're a kickoff.
What was that quote from Men in Black? It's always stuck with me when he's talking to Tommy Lee Jones' character is talking to Will Smith, and he's
Which one?
And he's like, 500 years ago, people thought it was like the Earth was flat. It was like he like broke it down.
Yeah, people don't know fuck about shit.
You know what I mean?
Time.
And then he was like, 5 minutes ago, you thought you were the only living thing in space.
Oh,
or
the first one.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was on the other day.
On a bench. Classic movie.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
Oh, I fucking watched it.
It started. She was like, "We can't go down. We just gotta watch it.
Finish
watch
it.
that."
Yeah,
I was just like, "Yeah." I was just looking.
I still didn't
to
see the
find
fourth one fully. I seen part like the last like
the hot
20 minutes of it. Yeah, she's gorgeous.
The lady from
don't objectify
Ragnarok.
Don't objectify
she's
my
gorgeous.
cousin.
She's gorgeous.
Don't objectify
I
my relatives.
I want her to slap me in the face.
Don't objectify my relatives.
I would be like, thank you, strong,
Your
hot
relatives.
lady.
Her name's Tessa Thompson. We're related somehow. It's fine.
So
that would give me an in, so I hope that would be...
For her to slap you? What?
That's my in.
Me, Kenan Thompson, we're all related. We all have like a Thompson fan club. It's a private Facebook group.
Yeah, there's a Reddit thread called r/Matt, and it's just all these different people named Matt. And they're like, hi, I'm Matt number, blah, blah, blah. This is where I'm from. You should do it. You should contribute.
Well, yeah. I made a joke like that on Twitter because I was responding to another podcast at the time. This was like years ago before this podcast. It was the Rooster Teeth podcast. One of them made a joke. Stop. They do fire content. Calm down. But one of them made a joke. He's like, if I named a kid after, why would I want to name a kid after me? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, I don't want to, like, all that. And I just jokingly replied, it's like, I don't want to name a kid Junior because of, I want to name Junior because I'm a narcissist as fuck. Like, that's it. And then a bunch of Matt Thompsons started following me. It's like, yeah. And I was just like, I was like, I'm just kidding, guys.
Yo.
Matt Thompson.
Some crazy shit.
That's crazy.
Yo.
What crazy shit?
So you know how we were all talking about the old school before?
Oh, like old school what?
Our old school
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
before.
Yeah.
I got you. I understand what's happening.
I opened up my Instagram.
Is it there?
No, just let him finish.
I opened up my Instagram, and it was posts from a bunch of people. First thing was posts from a few people in a row from our old school.
What?
They're listening.
That means the phone was listening.
They are listening.
About what?
No, just posts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're just being active right now?
Yeah, like Instagram pop.
I mean, it's quarantine.
Organize like all these people.
Girl,
like,
I
in a
thought you
certain
guys
order.
like hit me with some fucking like tea, like nondescript
I thought
tea.
something happened. I
I know.
wasn't
I
expecting.
was like, oh yeah.
I was like,
No, that means the phone is listening.
the
phone
bastard.
is listening.
It was like, did they get COVID? Like, what's
I
going
texted
on
them
here?
and said, you guys should probably post right now.
Not the obviously, Joe. I don't want to. I was just like, where is that going? I didn't know. But yo, let's talk about. We're on a podcast. Podcasts are popping right now. We were also listening. We were also listening to Joe
Webkins
Rogan.
has one.
We were listening to Joe Rogan right before this, and it just came out that Joe Rogan allegedly minimum front end got $100 million to bring the podcast exclusively over to Spotify.
Good for him.
He deserves it,
Secured
man.
the bag. He did it.
$100 million.
He was like, this is what the DMT all told me about. This was the experience all along. Has led me to this moment. Yeah.
Which I believe, because from what my understanding, he was making around $30 million alone off the podcast, including live shows, sponsorships through the podcast, all that
Was
stuff.
that like all together?
Yeah.
Like all together, that's what he got.
From what I heard this past year, he made independently $30 million with like the podcast itself, obviously, not just him directly.
Yeah.
Made all that. So then Spotify came to him apparently. They're like, hey, you want $100 million, and then you're gonna bring the podcast exclusively over. So
That's a good
He
deal.
probably went, fuck yeah.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
from my understanding, all the archive is gonna move over there September.
September, all the archive is going to be there. I was literally listening to that podcast where he announced it.
And then January is when everything is gonna turn off everywhere else. And then it's gonna be exclusively on Spotify. But you do not need Spotify Premium, you just need to download the app.
Yep.
So you can have a free Spotify account and you can
You still watch it. That's
watch
dope.
Joe Rogan
That's
all
dope.
you
Yep.
want.
You just can't see him.
So he's got until January technically, because it's not exclusive until January. He doesn't turn it off until January. He has until January to get people to download an app that most people already have.
Yeah.
It's not that hard for him.
Yeah.
No.
Obviously, me, I'm a Tidal fan, so it's a little. It's got higher quality audio. Like, I don't know why you be laughing.
Who else? How many other people in the world use it?
Linus Tech Tapes.
Two.
And that dude who does Mac videos also, I forget his
Do
name.
you know anybody that uses Tidal? Do you
Snazzy
use Tidal?
Labs.
You're the
Snazzy
first
Labs.
person
I don't have
that I've
Tidal.
heard that use Tidal. I do Apple Music.
Oh,
I don't have
on
that.
Spotify.
I don't
love
have
that
neither
shit.
of that.
I do. He does Google
It's like
Play,
the student one is
right,
like
or the
$4
Google
something a month,
Music.
and you get Hulu.
Google
so it's
Music
like
and stuff. I had
that
Spotify,
Spotify?
for like
the student one, student
little
premium
bit.
or whatever.
Yeah.
You just have to use a once existing school address, like
Yeah.
of the email. It's pretty lit.
I should look into that.
Yeah, but $100 million. Goddamn.
Good.
That's crazy.
I'm not even gonna hate. Like, I want the one good thing though that is good for him is apparently the Clips channel is still gonna stay up. So the Clips YouTube channel where they have like the individual segments, that's gonna stay up. So, but everything else in its long form is going over to Spotify. So he kind of won. Like, and it's a licensing deal.
Yeah,
he
$100
did
million. That's 3 years of work right there.
But he
a little
didn't-
over 3 years.
$100 million. That's more than 3 years of work.
Yeah, because you were saying it was like what?
Oh, yeah, yeah, 30 albums.
Yeah, one year was like 30 million. So
But-
like right there.
Even more wilder, he's just licensing it. So if when the deal is over and he doesn't like Spotify anymore, he could just turn all those videos back on. He got his $100 million, and he could just continue podcasting
Wow.
independently.
Yep.
Like
Wow.
that's just congratulations. That's
Yeah, shout out to Joe Rogan.
shit. It's boss
I
move.
love that cast.
Boss move. I can't. That just gets me hyped because podcast game is evolving. it really is becoming the new radio, and I know that's not a fucking smart, not like a unique statement to say. A lot of people have said that, but I feel like radio hasn't realized that completely yet. Like they're kind of becoming like shuffle mode.
Yeah.
They care more about the music. They don't have the personality anymore, which is what keeps people to a channel. Some people do. Like we had a radio teacher. He understood that.
Oh yeah, Skywalker.
Yeah, like I learned a lot from him in this, and most students would be like, "How?" He teaches us because he does pop radio. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no, if you listen to what he's actually saying, like he's saying, this is my market I'm in, and this is how you develop the brand. But what you gotta do is you gotta figure out your market, develop the brand, and then do all that
professor.
stuff. Yeah, no,
he was good with that.
And that's why, like, if you look at what I've done, if you're one of his students, obviously if you're not one of his students, you don't know. But if you look at what I've done, I followed what he said. It's just a lot of times when they look at it very narrowly. It's like, you're not doing pop radio. It's like, no, I didn't. That's a different brand, but I took all
apply it there.
Yeah, I took all the different things. He was like,
you took the knowledge,
the knowledge, and put it into
put it over here. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take what you did
and put it into dick jokes.
That's it.
And but yeah, no. So that's just to see it. The podcasting game finally get like real respect, because that's Howard Stern numbers. That's
crazy.
That's like
100 million. Hey, we want your show. Okay, here's 100 million. Okay.
You still get to own. You still get to own the show, too.
Yeah, that's crazy, and you can still own it.
It's a big change. I honestly wonder how Apple feels about it though, because Apple has had the opinion of, we don't pay for podcasts because we invented podcasts. Like, which they did. If you look at back in 2004. Steve Jobs was doing keynotes. He was like,
there were like apps for that on my fucking iPod Nano, and I was like, what the fuck is a podcast? Yeah.
And he was like, he knew back then, he was smart. He was like, I remember an interview from 2014 he did. He's like, this is Wayne's World, but for radio. Yeah. This is what radio is going to be in the future. But it's interesting that they haven't, my bad, I'm hearing some like feedback on so I'm trying to get the wires all separated. But it's interesting that even though he had that foresight back then, that they haven't invested in any podcasts. Like, they do Young Money Radio. They still market all that stuff as radio. They do Nicki Minaj radio. I don't know, Queen.
You guys remember Young Money?
Shout out to Young Money.
Oh my god.
Shout out to Nicki Minaj. Shout out to Nicki Minaj working with Tekashi.
I want some more Nicki and Eminem songs.
Fuck Tekashi.
I feel like when Nicki and Eminem do a song together, it's fire.
Rat.
Let's talk about him.
No.
He doesn't deserve any.
No, because I want to say one. I want to say one thing, because he's just to end it. Just the
He's a bitch.
Well, yeah. Besides that, he snitched. That's besides the point, because everyone's already talked about him snitching. That's fine. Let's talk about.
That's the offense you guys don't like him for. That's it. That's the one.
Well, no,
all of them.
And the possibly having sex with a minor. That's another thing.
Yeah, like come on
he's
now,
a
fam.
fucking,
like that. Like he's
a freak and an abuser. He's a fucking.
But that's why all those arguments are.
I wish he got shanked in prison. Personally.
All right. My point is, I just find it funny that he's come out. His song about how he's number one did not go number one, and he's been a little bitch about it for the last week. He's like, they bought their reviews while he is allegedly getting investigated because, from what I heard from like Breakfast Club and shit like that, allegedly he's getting investigated because apparently he had 6 times the bot activity on his YouTube video for his latest song than an average video, because obviously every video gets bot activity, but it had 6 times the amount of what your average bot activity is. So he did that. Then he's talking about how rich he is. He's in a neighborhood where it looks like he's got a conjoined pool with some white girl in the backyard who's just like, Tekashi's here. He's had to move like 4 times.
Oh my god.
Because he's not that rich, and he's not moving into mansions. He's just moving into random places.
Yeah, but he's still out in the Hamptons, like moving into places like that.
He's got to be stuck in New York City.
No, he was in the Hamptons with that chick.
No, he was in Long Island, because that's technically part of the city.
No, that's in the Hamptons is in Long Island.
Oh well, it didn't look like a rich people house.
Oh, yeah, but that, like, dude, that shit is like expensive.
Yeah, but here's the levels he's bragging about, the money he has. You don't have neighbors that could see you.
Yeah, of course.
He's talking like he's got Drake money, and the chain looks fake. I just like that everything about him. He immediately is like, I'm number one, and then it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, because people that say that are garbage assholes.
Yeah, usually. But that's the reason why I wanted to bring it up. Obviously fuck him because it's snitching. Fuck him for touching kids. But I feel like you got to rub it in when he's saying he's number one,
and he's not number one.
Then everything, and then immediately it's not.
Well, the key to him not being number one, especially, is to just pretend he doesn't exist.
I mean,
if no one talks about him, he will go away.
My comment on that, him saying he's number one, not being number one. I mean, that's every new rapper.
Yeah,
that's my thing. Every new rapper is saying they're number one with.
I feel like saying that is like a jinx.
None of the backing. You know what I mean? First album, I'm number one.
You're jinxing yourself.
Where's the backing?
But there's a difference. A lot of these artists have something to it. Even the mumble rappers, they have a talent in what they do. Like he's a
wig.
Screamo rap, and his newest song. I listened to it from an objective Tekashi fan. My average score would be a 5. If I'm doing 1 out of 10, it's slightly above average. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It doesn't sound as inspired as his last stuff. It sounds like it's just a rewash of all of his last shit, but it doesn't. It just doesn't. It doesn't have. It feels like hollow. It wasn't his top tier stuff. Right. If I'm just doing it objectively of like the music, and the fact that I liked his music before, it's not even that good from that perspective. So that's where
I never liked his music either. That's another thing with me.
To be honest, I'm not a fan of like any of the.
I know.
Sounds like you guys probably know like my taste in rap.
You like rapidy rap.
I like rapidy rap stuff. I don't really like. I like the '90s. I like.
You like the boom bap.
Nice. Yeah, I listen to gay '80s music.
J. Cole's nice. Kendrick is still fire.
You listen to a lot of Tech Nine.
I'm surprised I
love Tech Nine.
I'm surprised I didn't see you in the comments for the RZA versus Preem battle.
I didn't see that.
How did you not see the RZA versus Preem? RZA versus Preem on Instagram was... I'm not gonna lie, I counted RZA out when I first heard it, because you know Preem. DJ Premier, you can't beat him, but goddamn RZA got close. I forgot how many hits RZA has with Wu-Tang. The entire week afterwards, whenever we get annoyed at me, I'd just be like, METHOD, man.
Oh, yeah, that's been happening.
Yeah, METHOD, man.
I would just be like randomly just doing it. She's like, why?
That is exactly what I do. I go, why?
It's like, why? It's like, your Method Man's not here.
Don't summon him.
Method Man's always there. You know, there's a... Speaking of Method Man, I was on Netflix the other day and I saw How High 2.
Garbage.
How High 2 is on Netflix. I didn't watch it, but I was like, where's Method Man? Where's Redman?
No, yeah, it's fucking Lil Yachty and some other fucking clown.
Ew.
From what I heard, it's DC Young Fly. I want to give some respect because I actually do think DC Young Fly is funny. And he's just trying to get back. I don't give a. I don't blame those guys. They're just trying to get back. I blame the producers because allegedly, from what I remember, they went to Redman Method Man's like, let's do How High 2, and they're like, yeah, we want to do this much. Went ghost, and then all of a sudden announcement, we're gonna do How High 2 with DC Young Fly and Lil Yachty, and they're like,
wow,
like wait, what?
Because those two were talking about that since they came out.
Yeah, they're like, what?
Like there's always like rumors about it.
They're like, we wanted to do this. We were supposed to talk. Like y'all ghosted us, and then hired them for significantly less money. Because
most likely,
even though Lil Yachty is a poppin' rapper, he's not a poppin' actor. So you're paying him more for his name. Mm-hmm. And DC Young Fly is popping on social media. It's the way film industry works. Doesn't matter what you did in the other industries. You're gonna get bottom tier pay when you're starting out over here, and then you're gonna need to prove yourself to work your way up. Yeah,
I'm not. I don't listen to Lil Yachty's music, but I heard he's like he's smart with his money. He knows what he's doing. At least that's what.
I don't know. I think
what I've heard.
I think I would say that, but I think I just heard of him getting something repossessed recently. So I don't know how smart he is.
Let me take that back real quick.
I don't know.
Redacted.
Let's figure this out first.
To be fair, there's a lot of people that get stuff repossessed. So it could be. But I think I remember something about. But he did get like Target commercials and Sprite commercials. Like he was getting mad money.
He was a lot of Sprite commercials.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I know who that is now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have nothing to say about it.
Real quick, I don't know if the mic is picking it up. My stomach is growling. It's trying to tell me it's hungry. But I just had a French toast bagel before I came here, so it needs to stop tripping.
I always want to try those, but every
They're
time
so
I'm at a
good.
place that has them, they also always have Asiago, but that's my favorite. So I'm like, maybe I'll try next time. But I
you
never
just
do.
gotta
I
get
just love
both.
bagels.
Oh my
Bagels
god,
are
I
so
would
good.
die.
No, honestly, what you gotta do, you gotta get the French toast bagel with the chocolate chip cream cheese.
That does sound very, very yummy.
You know,
I feel like
just-
I would want to put like the fucking what's it called, mascarpone on it, like the fucking.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I just tried cream cheese on an
cannoli
egg and cheese sausage sandwich.
Monster.
So I said, fuck it, let me try it. Fire.
Yeah.
On a
I don't
French
eat, like
toast bagel.
sausage. Like I don't know. I've been eating egg burritos with like spicy, like salsa and beans and corn in it for breakfast recently. I don't know why. I just keep being like, you know what? I'm a scrambled egg. Like
I've been
fuck
having
it.
breakfast sandwiches every morning through this whole quarantine.
That's
I gotta
it.
stop.
New York style.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
let
like
me
it runs in our
bacon, egg, and
blood.
cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup.
Yeah,
That's
well,
all you got to say.
I don't know, man. Like that when I was up in where is it? Fucking not Troy, Rome. I used to date somebody up there. Like the sandwich spots and shit like that, and breakfast spots in the morning are nothing like down here. Nothing like down
But
here.
you go to another state and it's like sad, unless it's like a fucking chain place, like
Even
it's
then, still, like honestly,
don't
unless you're in the
understand
south
anywhere
and there's
else.
Waffle House and you can get like waffles
gravy
shit.
for breakfast.
Or at least an IHOP, like maybe even a Denny's.
I miss.
You can't get a bacon, egg, and cheese anywhere else outside of fucking New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Because we're real.
Even up in Troy, man, the
It's
only
not
spot I
right
could go
still.
to was Bruegel's Bagels, and like they were good. But they're a chain. You know what I mean? Chain kind of has its own
I
flavor.
think the best one around
its own
here is C&D's in
vibe.
Warwick. Is like the best.
I like
bacon, egg, and cheese
local.
around
Yo,
here.
not for
Local
nothing.
delis are
I
always the
heard
best.
that Wendy's actually has legit
They have
breakfast.
biscuits. They have
Yes.
biscuits. I
I
want
saw
them.
I saw one girl,
I can vouch for this.
I saw one
They're
girl
good.
I saw one
Really?
girl on Facebook
Breakfast Baconator.
trash them.
Breakfast.
Really?
bacon.
Yo.
She
Breakfast
did, like-
Baconator, and they had
I was intrigued by
a
it.
maple chicken sandwich on a
Yes.
croissant.
That sounds
that's
good.
what I want.
That
That's what
sounds
I want.
good.
And honestly, their coffee, it was like the Frappuccino or whatever,
Oh.
was the best
Sugary,
coffee.
good.
It was honestly up there. I was like, yo, this is like the perfect level of sweetness
How
and
much did
strongness.
it cost?
I would say if you're going to get like a McGriddle
It's a
and a
20.
coffee, it's like kind of like McDonald's pricing. I
Yo,
would say maybe like a I don't know.
Wendy's since this
It's
quarantine
like
has
a
had a
$7 or less endeavor.
Wendy's
Yes.
ran out of
It's
fucking ran out of burgers or whatever in all over California or
Yeah,
something like that.
Because they have
Crazy.
to deal with the meat distributors where like they don't
They
freeze
need
their
fresh.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
White Castle's like that.
Yeah,
But-
I love White Castle.
No, they did a fire special that I've been killing lately. They have a 2 for $5 homestyle chicken sandwich and 10 nuggets. One of those alone costs more than $5, so 2 for 5. Get one of those free.
And I watch and meet them every day.
Not every day.
That's why you've gained some weight.
If we're
Matthew?
gonna,
I've lost actually some weight for the last couple
I've
weeks. Thank
definitely
you.
gained.
Yeah.
Last couple
Definitely.
weeks
I
though.
gained 20
last
pounds.
couple weeks.
None of my
I'm
nice
okay.
clothes fit me. Like,
Before that, you're right though. Definitely.
If we're
gained
gonna talk
Nah,
about,
you definitely actually look like you lost some of your stomach that you had there a little bit.
it. Yeah, no, I've just been, doing a little light
Manual
workout.
labor.
Yeah, a little light extra workout here and there.
I've been doing heavy
Yeah.
eating. I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, I've been doing pretty good. Knock
I'm a
on wood.
bored eater, so like when I'm bored or sitting around, I'm like, I want to just eat snacks, and like
Yeah.
I don't understand. My brain doesn't process like full. It doesn't think like it's like a dog. Like when you just eat until you're like, I'm dying right now. Like that's
No,
it. And
my
then like
job's
I'll
just
do
a
it again.
constant
Like,
Yeah, I'm the same.
My job's the constant workout. Like I'm always doing
yeah,
heavy
I can't because
lifting
I'm
and
home
moving
when I'm
and
busy. I'm not eating that
up
much,
down
and it's better.
and everything like that. Plus like that, like running like some of the tools and shit. Like it vibrates your entire body and that
I
like
You
have
gotta-
become
you gotta,
a
like, shut
platypus.
that down too.
Yeah, dude. Metal
That's a workout.
fabrication is fucking some crazy shit.
Or how you say skinty.
Some crazy shit.
All right, fuck it. Let's get spicy. I've been waiting to have it. I'm glad Colin's on this episode.
Oh my god,
What
what is
are you
about to
about to
happen
ask,
right
Matt?
now?
Is this it?
So, a couple months ago on the podcast, or no, a couple months ago before the podcast, all of a sudden, Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck started randomly tweeting # release the Snyder Cut. And I said at the time on the podcast,
free it.
Release it.
I complained because
Free him.
For people who don't know, the Snyder Cut they're talking about is the Justice League. Zack Snyder shot the film, and then he had personal things and corporate things. Warner ended up having Joss Whedon come in, basically rewrite the film and reshoot half the movie, and you can tell in some scenes like which shots are green. Like we've never got to talk about this. The shot where Batman is not Batman, Bruce Wayne, but it doesn't matter if you call him Batman because motherfucking Aquaman was screaming his name, Batman in front of a bunch of those people. You could tell like randomly there's green screen shots where they add jokes in that dialogue scene where he's talking to him by the ocean, talking to Aquaman, and it's like, bro. So that movie was heavily edited, for sure. Obviously, if anyone's listened to the podcast before, I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder's films. The 300 and the Dawn of the Dead remake is the closest thing to the things I've liked from him. But I said at the time, God damn it, Snyder. Before that, I said Snyder Cut's not done in the way of there's no VFX, they didn't finish the audio, they didn't finish VFX, they didn't finish.
They have to go back and do a lot of work. It's there.
My point was there was no actual cut done, and I was just like, y'all gotta stop. Specifically, fans, I'm like, y'all are just gonna get disappointed because like there's no final cut and no company is gonna come back at this point and be like, yo, let's finish it.
And give a budget to go ahead and redo it, which is crazy. And they did.
At the time, I said on the podcast, all right, I'm gonna eat my words. I'm telling you now, they're gonna release it for HBO Max. This is their early marketing. They have the actors tweeting about it, and it's come out that they're gonna release Justice League Snyder Cut on HBO Max exclusive. You're the Zack Snyder fan.
I'm a Zack Snyder fan.
DC fan. What's your perspective? You're excited, I'm sure.
I'm excited to see it because I feel any director should have their vision saw. That vision that they originally had should be seen. Whether it's good or bad. It should be at least given a shot. Give me the theatrical run. Give me the director's cut. Because sometimes if you look back, some are better, some are worse.
Yeah.
But I think it's historic just that fans can have... it just shows the fans you have that power. If you can get this going for a movie that came out 3 years ago, and a company goes, all right, let's do it, and they give a budget, I was reading about it was like 30 to 40 million. Go ahead, finish your cut.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's nuts.
Well, on top of that, though, that also proves that they think it's big enough to get people to subscribe to HBO Max. If they're just like, it's worth it. And people might be surprised to hear this. I'm actually excited to see it.
I want to see it. I hope it's worth it. That's my thing. I hope it's worth it.
Who wouldn't be excited to see it? I don't even give a shit. I'm excited to see it.
My point is because I think we've definitely talked about this before because during Batman vs Superman time you're like, I'm telling you the director's cut is better. I watched it. My personal opinion is it didn't add enough for me. It's like that being cut from the film wasn't a big deal for me. So I was just like, all right, whatever. That doesn't change much. This film, they straight up had the dude who made Avengers come in and then just like green screen in random shots and dialogue.
There was a lot of similarities of Avengers.
They just chop this up so much where it's like, I agree. I'm like, yeah, I want to see this. This can be different enough where it's like, all right, I'm excited now. Like I wasn't excited to see the Snyder cut of Batman vs Superman because it's not that much different. There's just a few extra scenes. The core of this movie is different. It's gonna be different. So that's why I'm excited. Even though I'm not a Zack Snyder fan, I want to see what he originally planned.
Even set designs, even characters look completely different. Steppenwolf had a design that Zack Snyder had that you can see it online images, completely different to what the one that we got. It was crazy. It was just so different.
I'm actually excited to see it. I mean, I was gonna get HBO Max in general because Warner owns a lot of shit.
Yeah, they do.
And
they do. And some of the original content sounds really good too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I signed up. They have a pre-sale going on, so I signed up.
When is the Snyder Cut coming out? It's probably not launch day, right? Is it coming out?
I think it said 2021, so we do have
we got time.
A bit of a wait.
That's fine, but I'm this might be the first Zack Snyder film I like. We don't know.
He's working on he's got a Netflix movie coming out soon, which is if you like Dawn of the Dead, you should like this. It's another zombie apocalypse movie where it's like a robbery. They plan a robbery during a zombie apocalypse.
I do give him my money to get, and I do I do want to like his stuff.
I did Watchmen though. Watchmen was really good.
And
Watchmen was amazing.
That's one of my favorite like graphic novels. That's one of my favorite movies.
And let me preface this, that you are right. A lot of people do say that. I was 12 when I saw Watchmen. I didn't understand. Here's how I saw Watchmen.
But it changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a school trip, and then my cousin texted me because she wanted to get like her hair done. So she was just like, hey, because we were gonna spend time with her and her fiance. She was gonna take care of us that night, and she was just like, hey, how about you want to go see this Superman movie called Watchmen with Joe? And like she's always been a cool cousin. She saw it was R, and she saw like a little bit of nudity, a little bit of violence. She's like, all right, they've seen blood. That's not a big deal. I'm like, and it's like,
you've seen
Big
Friday
Blue
the 13th, like you're good.
Big Blue Wang.
When did it come out again?
I was 12, so 2009.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was a senior in high school when it came out. Me and my buddy Joe hit me up and was like, yo man, you want to go to the movie? I'm like, I'll drive. I'm like, all right, fine, whatever, fuck it. I hop in his van with him, and now mind you, I get this call. It's like a Tuesday, like a Tuesday night at like 8:30 at night. I get this call,
And then you got your life changed.
And it was for like a fucking like a 10. The movie was at like 10:30 at night or something
And that's
like
a long
that.
movie.
Fuck yeah,
motherfucker! Like, but I got it, and this was the one of the premieres of it. So it was the long version. This was 4 hours and change. We were sitting in the movie theaters or whatever. Yo, we got out at like 2:30 in the morning.
Us at Star Wars.
yeah.
Maybe like 3. Even it was close to 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Got back. Yo, I just remember my mom's was fucking tight.
2 in the morning.
Where have you been? I'm like, yo, I literally was in the movies the whole time. Except for the first 2 hours because we left early.
Yeah,
we got to the mall. We were fucking like boozing like the whole fucking time, hitting on bitches and shit.
Yeah,
great.
My cousin kind of thought it was gonna be more of like a kick-ass type film.
Okay.
Like,
oh no!
Like superhero, but like a little extra blood, maybe a couple tits here and there. Like she was like, who cares if I see a couple tits?
It was ahead of its time. If that movie came out now, it would be so refreshing to have a superhero movie like that.
That's fucking timeless.
That's
the comic. Like, have you ever read it? It's so.
I've never read it.
Good. I
know it's a thick book. Like it's a
It
big
is, but it goes
novel.
quick. It's like probably like this, but it goes like you kind of.
I saw like a picture like this.
No, that's like if like a big like that would be like a super special edition, like nice copy one, like the one my dad had. My dad's like, I've like raised a nerd house, so like this is like I've been forced to. This is my life since I was little. Like we go to Comic-Cons and shit all the time, but it's just like about like this like just like your finger space. Yeah, it's not bad, but it goes quickly.
That is one movie I definitely need to give another.
Can we please watch it? I literally watched it a lot.
4 different versions. There's one that's like a theatrical 2.5 hour. There's like a 3.5 hour.
Then there's Bob Dylan cover.
There's
for
literally
the
a
credits,
4.5 movie of that.
That is one Zack Snyder film I do have to say I have to give another fair shake at. Most of his work though I have seen. I'm just like
I love his films.
My main problem with him is that not that he's dark, but he's dark in the hot topic. It's hot topic.
He's like, look at me.
Yeah, that's because like
I'm the edgy guy.
Yeah, I know. I do understand why some people might not into that.
Like even to the point where like for Batman, my biggest problem with Batman vs Superman was I couldn't fucking see shit. I saw it in 3D. My man had like the exposure turned down the entire way, and I got sunglasses on. I'm just like, I can't see nothing.
There is a lot of scenes where you can really notice like the grainy look, and like I'm not saying BVS is like a phenomenal movie. I think it is a little slept on, and people don't really give it the love some aspects of that film deserve.
It's nice to see Superman die,
but it's like. There is like refreshing. I do understand its flaws. Like there's definitely a lot of scenes where it's like, and it's a thing I think a lot of studios do.
Yeah, it's
just way too freaking dark. Like Venom. Why is Venom in the middle of the night standing on a tower? All I see is eyes. Where's Venom?
Well, that's why I blame Snyder because he had the control. Because if
BVS.
Yeah, because he had the control, and that's what's just like, bro, and that's just his style. And there, he always does like the super dark, but like not dark and like, let's not make it bright. Let's just actually just like turn down the exposure. Because if you look at The Dark Knight, that's a dark film, but they're not.
How is Dark Knight not rated R?
They're not in the dark, but you don't like. They're not actually in the dark, but like even the outside stuff, it's not bright, it's not shiny, but they made it dark while still being able to see things. Right. That's one of my main issues with his cinematography style. Other than that, cinematography wise, he's brilliant.
Yeah, I love his cinematography. I love his visuals. He's a widescreen type of guy. I love widescreen.
Brilliant in that way.
Like, give me the visuals. That's what I like.
That's why I still keep giving him a shot. But then when it comes down to a story, he does the hot topic-y, edgy, there's an interview when to be fair, this was back in 2004. He's had kids since then. What kind of edge? Well,
that dark edge.
Yeah. So he was talking about Batman Begins. And he was just like, I thought it was really good, but it could have been darker. I would have had Bruce Wayne getting raped in the prison.
Jesus Christ!
That allegedly, that's what I heard.
I remember that.
He did that. He had like an interview. This was 2004, to be fair, but like that's the kind of where he thinks dark is, like the edgy, hot topic-y type. Yeah. He hasn't gone that extreme since.
He was like, this is a good idea.
He's never gone that extreme. That's a very extreme example of what he does.
Thank God he didn't give that to him.
No, he that was an interview.
Said it. Like, he said it.
Back in 2004.
It was like a meme for a while, though, because everyone was just like, yo, what the fuck?
Yikes. I don't know about that.
He's never done anything to that extreme, but that type of edge where it's just like, well, let's just have this thing. It kind of happened in Watchmen, from what I understand.
Watchmen's dark.
The rape scene didn't actually happen in the book.
It was implied.
But he went a little bit further.
Yeah, I don't watch that part.
Like, it's... Well, yeah, no, I'm not judging, but it's just like, he's one of those dudes where it's like, all right, I need to make it edgy. Well, let me just...
Yeah, there's things, it's like, we get the grit. I understand the grit you're going for, but we don't need to...
It's not well planned out in a lot of ways. It's just very much... The idea,
it's the kind of thing that just makes you say, why?
Yeah, it's what he puts it in a way where it's just like, I'm just gonna put it out there because the act of itself is it. It's like, but the act of it just doing it.
You don't need an 8-minute scene of it.
Yeah,
like
but I can't lie. His visuals when he turns up the exposure just a little bit, just
his visuals are amazing. Release is not I can't wait. Did you see the post-credit scene? Like in the theatrical
with Deathstroke, yeah.
As far as I know, that is, to my knowledge, one of the only Snyder scenes in there that he did himself. Oh no, I think it was like that and a few other scenes. Like most of this movie was the reshoots.
I believe, I heard the same thing. I believe the intro with Wonder Woman was shot by him completely. Like they didn't touch that. Okay. And then everything else had like, he shot all the scenes at one point, but the
visuals are different.
Joss Whedon reshot different clips inside those scenes.
Yeah, there is a scene where Wonder Woman jumps into the ship with Steppenwolf and she's alone, but if you watch the trailers compared to the movie, when she does it, it's I know Aquaman's there, and I think it's Cyborg. It's Cyborg, not Flash. And it's a whole different color. Background's a whole different color. Then the theatrical, she's alone, and it's a bright red.
Well, that's one thing that I wish they kept Zack Snyder on for, because having Joss Whedon do the color work for that shit was the worst idea. As much as I hate the dark style I just shit on, when you do a darker style, you have to make the costumes slightly different color, slightly different hue. If you notice in Justice League, for some reason, Wonder Woman's outfit is slightly green. Like, why?
I noticed that. I gotta watch that.
There's definitely like points where it's just like slightly green, and it's like, well, you do that because if you're gonna shift it the direction this way, you want it to be green initially, so then when you shift everything and then make it darker for his style. And that's one of those things where if you notice, like the costumes, like
sorry,
it's like gunshots. But if you notice, like everyone's outfit at certain points, like sometimes just has like a slightly weird hue to it, and it's because like if you're gonna light and you're gonna color it a specific way, you're gonna need a slightly different hue for that situation. Whereas like they kind of did in the reverse way, they just like, let's just make everything bright. You can see everything's neutral color, everything's good, everything just slightly boosted saturation a little bit, we're good. Just like every other movie. I'm just like, well then.
I hope this takes like we were saying, it was like, this is going to be historic. I hope Disney sees this and we can get released the JJ cut.
That's never going to happen.
Because I want
do a comparative
I want the
watch.
JJ cut of Rise of Skywalker. Because I heard conflicting rumors that it was like Disney had a big hand in that. And
Oh no,
was, like,
Disney definitely had a
wasn't
big
giving
hand.
him the full vision, and they were trying to kind of like mess with him because he's about to do a switch and go to DC for the streaming services to work on Superman.
I don't think it goes that deep because people would go in and out
Yeah.
of studios left and right. But I think it definitely was a thing where they were nervous about The Last Jedi, and they were like, "We're gonna control this to a T. We're gonna if we don't like this scene, we're gonna switch it out for another scene." Yeah, I heard there's like a bunch of different. You can remake that movie in a bunch of different ways, and it'd be totally different movies.
Yeah, I heard there is like an original JJ vision. I heard the Colin Trevorrow. I don't know if that's true. That whole vision that came out and leaked.
I think
that sounded great.
I know. I commented on your Facebook thing. I was just like, we don't even know this is real. I think it's starting to come out as real. I think there's enough evidence now where I'm like, all right, this might be real.
And there's like artwork for it.
Yeah, there's original concept artwork.
It's official. I mean, either way, even if someone just made this up in a basement somewhere, I was like, yeah, fuck it.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna stir this up a bit. It still sounds great.
I don't think so because I think the artist confirmed like, yeah, no, I worked on this. Okay. This is my work. So that was the point for me where once I heard that, I was like, all right, this is definitely real. Like, there's a lot of like detailed concept art, and from my understanding, the artists are like, yeah, it's coming from their portfolios because once, obviously leading up to a movie, you can't release anything. But after the movie releases, all these artists post their stuff on their portfolios. It's like, I designed this outfit. I designed for this. I did the CG for this. It's like, they don't really care. So from what I understand, like, since the movie's out, yeah, a lot of those artists have been like, this is the concept art I've done. And no, that... Release a JJ.
Release a JJ cut.
Release the JJ cut. I mean, I wish. I've just accepted that they did not plan out this trilogy properly, and I'm ready for them to move on to the next step. And I'm just liking everything for what it was. I like Last Jedi the least, although I don't think it deserved the point where people
it gets way too much hate.
Way too
much hate. They're attacking because
actors didn't do anything wrong.
The girl that played Rose. I don't know her name off the top of my head. Like, I don't think she was bad, but people made her delete social media because you kept harassing her.
She did.
Chill.
She did a fantastic job in the role that she was given. It's just Rian Johnson wrote it. My issue is that with the producers and Rian Johnson as the story, but Rian Johnson's still phenomenal filmmaker. Knives Out was brilliant. Fucking loved it.
Knives Out was fucking amazing.
Crazy good.
Every movie he's made before that is fucking brilliant. He had, in my opinion, one bad movie.
Toni Collette's in that. I love her.
He's had one bad movie. Kathleen Kennedy. Everyone gets mad enough stars. Y'all forget.
She's legendary.
Indiana Jones, Back to the Future.
Yep. No, she didn't work on Jaws. No, I'm sorry.
Indiana Jones was when she started working with Spielberg. So everything after that. So Jurassic Park, legendary. Back to the Future.
Her name is attached to a lot of like up there movies, like your favorite movies.
Google her name. And the CEO of Disney has come out. He said in interviews, yeah, I told her I want a movie out every year. And then I realized I fucked up because I was rushing her.
Can't do that. Can't do it.
But I gotta give him respect. He was like, I fucked up. I was down her neck like an executive, and I was like, we just bought this for $4.5 billion. I want to see profit. I want a movie out every year. And then at least he was smart enough though. When that wasn't working, he was the one that said,
"Stop it.
That was my idea. Yep. I fucked up. We're gonna scale it back a little bit for that reason." So like. I don't think it... Yeah, I believe it doesn't deserve nearly as much hate.
No.
Do I think Last Jedi is a bad movie? Yes.
See, I think Last Jedi is the best one out of the sequel trilogy.
I think it would have been good in its own trilogy. Like, I get the sequel trilogy, it's its own trilogy, but it's part of...
the overall saga.
Yeah, a 9-movie saga. And I feel like that's where Rian Johnson forgot that... Not only is it part of a saga, it's the 8th movie out of 9 in the saga.
You can't change shit.
Yeah,
now.
You can't really shift to.
But what did he really change though? Because my biggest thing that I don't think a lot of people see or forget is that he brought it back where anybody can be a Jedi. And I think that was a big selling factor for the original trilogy. I want to be Luke, I want to be a Jedi, and then it was midichlorians, and you're like, I guess I can't be a Jedi. And then he brought that back, and he was like, no, Rey's a nobody, which I love.
Because the Force,
she's
bro.
a Jedi. That kid just used the Force all over Hope. That kid just... He grabbed that broom with the Force.
I like that idea, but... And this is where I feel like... I would love the idea... I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's kind of alluded it's not going to happen anymore. I love the idea of his trilogy.
I was excited for that.
It would be something separate. The reason why I don't think that works for... I also just didn't like his comedy bits. I didn't necessarily like.
There was a few comedy bits.
I just can't wait to see Darth Maul again.
I mean, did you see Clone Wars?
Mr. Maul?
Yeah, Mr. Maul.
Mr. Maul, as we've been referring to him around my house. Mr. Maul.
Mr. Maul.
He's no longer Darth.
Yeah. He's only half the Sith now, so it's not...
They took away his name.
He's no longer a Sith anymore, so he's just a Dark Force user, so he's no longer Darth Maul. He's just Maul.
Mr. Maul.
So then we've been joking. It's like, he's Mr. Maul.
Mr. Maul.
Well, what else would you call him? I'd be
Mr. Maul.
Mr. Maul's Neighborhood. Sounds like a comedy sketch.
Facts. Let's get Sam Witwer to do the voice.
Oh my god.
But
he'd be like, you.
But yeah, no. Well, I guess my point with Last Jedi is, yeah, it's the 8th movie. It would have, where it was.
I thought it was pretty good.
There's a few, like, the beginning of, like...
Floating Leia.
Of Poe doing that whole phone skit.
I didn't like that.
I thought it could have been shorter.
I didn't like the whole...
And it still would have been effective.
I didn't like the whole Casino Planet sequence. I feel like it had no point. And I guess that was the part of the story, is like, none of this had a point. And it's like...
But it was... See, I see it as it was for Finn. It was Finn's, like, turning point of seeing the kids get whipped.
I just like that they're bonding.
Yeah, they're bonding. He's seeing the kids get whipped.
Found family in space.
He's noticing
very gay. I like
these
it.
people who thought, like, he's not thinking anything of it, is selling weapons to the dark side and the light side. Well, not the dark side, light side. The resistance and the First Order. But
I think... But that's what I didn't really like about it, because the whole moral at the end, when they wrapped it up with that dude leaving, is... You'll live to fight another day, and you'll work for... He was trying to say that, back to the point of anyone could be a Jedi, there's no real good or bad side. We're all just kind of doing our own fucking thing. Which is, like, it just didn't fit in what was set up right before. Like, I would have loved Rey being a nobody if it was set up in the first movie, in episode 7, that she would be a nobody. But they did put a little bit... And that one I'm not as big worried about. Luke, though, throwing the lightsaber, Luke's entire character... was totally done wrong from the perspective of following episode 7. And I've seen Rian Johnson defend it on Twitter. He's like, I think you guys are wrong, because I think a character needs to evolve and have trials and tribulations. They're not necessarily going to be perfect. It's not a video game. Cool. The movie before was entirely about how he left a map for someone to find him. So then, as soon as someone finds him, the person who is supposed to find him finds him. He throws the lightsaber away and says, "Fuck all of this. I never wanted anyone to find me in the first place." That's where I'm like,
I can
the entire movie before, he was like,
I thought that was really funny.
He was like, I left this map for it, but the entire movie before,
but wasn't it like a hidden map? Like they just happened to find it. Like, oh, we just found out there's a map, and now it's a race to get to it, type of thing.
No, I think it was. I mean. I shouldn't.
That's what I thought it was. It was like we just accidentally found a map that actually leads us to Luke.
No,
and they never really explained, like, did Luke leave it? Did someone else get it?
Maybe garbage birds took it. Some critter took it by accident. Flew away.
A bird accidentally ate it, flew over to the other planet, shit it.
Yeah.
Someone found it.
For me, I think it was that he left the map because no one else knew about that planet except for him.
Okay.
And it was a direct, like, line to this Force planet that only he would know about.
Exactly.
So that's why and it was left by the old dude that Poe meets in, like, the first scene of, what's it called? Force Awakens? In the gallery of, like, the encyclopedia that they put out for every movie.
They explain everything, like, what happened before.
His character, according to them, is, like, good friends with Luke, was a Jedi. He doesn't know how to use the Force, but he's a Jedi sympathizer, so he's always like he was always just like trying to pass on Jedi knowledge. So the fact that he was given the map, I feel like that very much implies that Luke left the map for that. Like, if episode 7 didn't happen, episode 8 could have worked. But the fact that it came up right after episode 7, not besides the extra stuff of them changing the other 6 movies, I could deal with that, but it doesn't even fit narratively right after what just happened right before.
I could see it as like because you said he was Luke's good friend. Maybe Luke was like, "Yo, listen, I'm skipping town. Fuck this shit. I'm done with this. Here's a little map just in case you may need me if shit goes down again. I'm going over here to
And this guy went out of pocket and was like, you know what? You should find him.
Yeah, and then like the Force Orders happened. He's like, shit, maybe we actually do need Luke. Yo, Poe, get this and get the fuck out of here.
But then again, it's one of those things where if you don't want to be found, don't leave a map to you. That's kind of my point. That's kind of my point.
My thing with Rion though,
he probably knew that one day that for the entire world and galaxy's sake,
you may need to find him.
Exactly.
That's how
I feel. You might need me, and then
he's not that selfish.
He just absconded.
But again,
I love this character.
I feel,
in The Last Jedi.
I feel like that doesn't make sense because he immediately went there. According to Rian Johnson, immediately went there, threw his X-wing into the water. It's like, I'm done. I'm not. His mindset at that point was, I'm never going to teach anyone. I don't want the Jedi, the Force, all this. My interference is causing more issues. So again, there wouldn't be a reason for.
He had a depressive episode.
No, I get that, but there wouldn't be a reason for him to leave the map. That's my whole point. His character, the way he acts, is counter to what JJ set up right before. That's my main issue with that story.
Who cares?
I mean, Ryan dealt with it the best way he could.
It hurts.
Who really cares, though?
I care.
Be in Ryan's shoes, though. You're giving this movie here, do the sequel. Okay, what happened in the movie? I got Luke and a map. So now we got to figure out why would he have a map and why would he be on this planet. I thought he came up with the best thing is he was tempted by the dark side again, and he was like, "Fuck! I thought I got rid of that shit. I almost just killed my nephew. Yeah, I need to get out of here." I was like, "This is getting too much."
I would agree, but except for the map. If the entire movie, the entire part of, because the entire story of episode 7 was, let's find the map.
Yeah, that is honestly one of the biggest issues I would have with 7 is why is there a map? Like, because 8.
Well, because mystery boxes.
he was given the map issue. Rey's had to be somebody issue, and the Luke issue.
Well, no, honestly, I do feel like he handled the Rey being someone issue pretty well.
I loved her being nobody. I feel like we already dealt with all this family stuff. It was give me a nobody.
There was enough distance where she could have been a nobody based on that wasn't my biggest issue.
I mean, spoilers if you haven't seen it.
It's been out for long.
Who got with Palpatine when he was burnt?
Thank
up to
you.
a
That's
crisp?
what I said. I said
Who did that?
That means that Palpatine canonically fucks. Like, I couldn't process that.
This is after episode 6, so he's burnt.
So
like,
they
he's burnt to a crisp.
The worst thing Disney's done since Rise of Skywalker is try to over fucking explain the Rise of Skywalker.
It's to try to defend themselves.
So they've now gone back a little bit on what they said, and they've released a new book where apparently he didn't have a son. Although he was trying to clone, he's a clone, so that's not Palpatine that fell down the shaft in Return of the Jedi. It's a clone.
I'm upset they didn't put that in the movie.
Exactly, me too.
That's my thing.
Apparently, there was a line where Kylo Ren was going to say, "You're just clone," and then
I feel like a lot of essential shit was cut out of that movie.
And what's his name
could have helped.
Dude, this line was so. When I heard about it, my man was supposed to reply to Kylo saying, "You're just a clone." He's like, less of a clone, more than more than a clone, less than a man. Like he was kind of like in between because of the Force and all that shit.
Yeah,
I was like, damn. But like they show his fingers, and you assume that this is the same one from Return of the Jedi
because like burnt, cracked, old. Yo, it gave me Evil Dead vibes. You ever see Evil Dead?
Yeah,
that's
I
like
liked
my
it.
favorite.
I actually, as much as I don't really think Palpatine should have been in it, the scenes that he's in is like fucking beautiful. Like
They are really
the
cool.
setting, the lightning, the
I had
sounds,
no-
the look. It's so
I
good.
didn't
I was
mind
like,
the
why?
movie, but I'm also
But-
not as deep as you guys.
What's it
I
called?
liked it. Shout out to Babu Frick, and I'm obsessed with him. That little cute little guy, and he goes,
Yeah.
"Whoa, I want one. I want one. I'm
deep
obsessed
into
with
Star
him."
Wars, man.
Same.
That's
But,
my
my
dad's brand. We
biggest
have a Jar
issue-
Jar Binks cut out in my basement that's
Oh,
been there
man.
since since that
I
movie
have
came
great.
out.
That was great.
I high five it.
My biggest issue is I didn't walk out that theater crying. That was my biggest thing. I was
want-
like, this is the last
Oh,
Star
I did.
Wars movie.
I cried.
There were scenes like
I cried during
when
it.
Princess
I cried 'cause
Leia
I
was
was
kind of
tired
going. I was
after.
like, damn. And then like when Chewie found out she died and he was fucking freaking
Oh,
out
that's right.
crying.
I thought that-
I was
I
like,
don't know
damn.
why,
I was
I
like,
thought
give
it
him
was
some
so
character.
funny.
That's what I'm talking about,
When
bro.
she thought she like when they thought, I don't know why, but my reaction, I was like, like I don't know why. To me, it was like the funniest shit ever. And all of a sudden, like they're helping, and all of a sudden, like the ship explodes, and like, oh my god, like Chewbacca's in there, and I don't know why, but it's just like it was like.
Oh, yeah,
this is,
when
this
That
is-
threw
Chewbacca-
me, but they did that way too many times. It got me. It got me for a second.
Oh,
but
I
was
thought. I
like,
know.
I
thought
just
it.
don't know why my first response was like, oh my god, like I just started laughing.
And this is where it comes. This is where they should have just cut one scene out. Like they
the
should.
fucking kiss that didn't need to happen that I'm really fucking mad about.
Besides that, but
didn't need to happen.
they shouldn't have revealed Chewbacca was alive to Kylo Ren. They should
Reylo
have just
apologists.
kept it like underneath, and then when that scene where Rey feels him, that should have been like that would have made the movie so much better at that point because like they kill him off. Next scene, no, he's still alive,
Reylo apologists. That's what it is.
and then it takes all the emotion out of the scene when all of a sudden Rey is just like, I feel him. Like it's like yeah, you
He's
feel him, he's
suddenly
alive.
helpful.
How did you not feel him before?
I also didn't like. I don't agree with the new Force power of healing, because like,
Yeah, but it's not
damn
new.
man, Qui-Gon can still be here.
That's not
Yo,
that new.
right?
Liam Neeson can still be in this franchise. Shit.
Go figure.
I don't feel like that's that new because I grew up playing Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy, so
But
that was
does
a
it-
force. That was a force ability in the video game. So I was like,
okay.
so for me, that
At
was
least
always,
it's bad. I thought it was just brand new. We're gonna throw it out there, and I was like, damn man, that kind of messes up a lot of things.
And ironically, those games take place after Episode 6 also. So it's like, I don't know. That wasn't my biggest. But I feel like the Force can do a lot of things. They should have explained Palpatine better that he was a clone, and apparently his son was not. His son was just a failed clone who didn't have the Force.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't fuck, apparently. He just had a failed clone that didn't know how to use the Force, but then somehow Rey got the Force through it. And yeah, so it's not even really it's a grandkid, it's a son in the way that Boba Fett is Jango's son.
Okay. Gotcha. That makes sense.
Like,
I've seen now they put that in a movie. And
yeah,
explain it, it'd be a lot better.
they
you
put
know?
that in the novel, apparently. I got it on audiobook.
There's a lot of things in that movie that's kind of like, if you're a fan, you know. But it's like, well, what do you mean? Because
Yeah, no, I don't.
I'm not reading the books. To me, Star Wars is a visual thing. I want to see Star Wars. I don't want to read Star Wars. I want to see Star Wars.
You want it
Immerse
to be
me.
presented to
Well,
you.
You know,
I
like,
don't
come
mind-
on. I'm not gonna read a book.
I don't mind the books if they put it on screen also. And my issue now with the books is they've pretty much... When they first bought Star Wars, they said, all right, we're going to still sell the EU stuff, but we're going to title it Legends. It has nothing to do with our canon unless it's the movies or Clone Wars. That's where we're starting off from. All of our books, though, going forward, they're all part of canon, all that stuff. And then they release Clone Wars this season. Fire season. But
I haven't seen it yet.
super
I gotta
fire.
watch it.
But the last 4 episodes stray quite a bit from the Ahsoka book. So they're making a point to say, like, the books don't... And they've even said now officially, like, the books matter until something visual comes out and does something different from the books. So the books aren't even really canon anymore.
I never thought they were canon. I thought it was kind of like
Well,
just like, oh, like what if, you know, like here's a continuation. Here's
Well,
my version of a continuation.
that's how it kind of was under George's reign. It was like, what if, unless I decide to use any of those ideas
Okay.
in future movies. And when Disney bought it, they were like, all right, we're still going to sell that stuff, but we're going to have it branded as Legends. Like, if you look at those books now, big Legends banner on top. So you know it's not part of the Disney canon. And then Disney was like, all the books that were going to come out, all going to be canon. This is all canon. So if it doesn't say Legends, it's technically supposed to be canon, but Disney, that's also where I feel like Disney and Lucasfilm was kind of fucked up. They haven't been consistent on that. Like, MC has been consistent. MC, for the most part. MCU movies, ABC shows, and used to be Netflix are part of the series. And Netflix, they kicked out. They were just made clear. It's like, all right, Netflix ain't part of the same one.
Daredevil was so good.
Netflix ain't part of the same one.
One hell of a superhero show.
But they keep it consistent. Like, the comics don't necessarily affect the movies. You know, they've kept it very specific. They're like this, where Disney's like, oh no, we're going to go bigger. We're going to have all this matter. But then that's too much to take care of. So, like, none of it's going to really matter. Like, the books kind of matter for their own continuity either. Yeah. I'm just happy for Lucasfilm and Star Wars going forward. I feel like they were trying... I think they got a little segmented with the trilogy, and now they can, like, kind of do their own thing and massage.
What if, in a weird alternate universe, Finn came back in episode 9, and the biggest theme in episode 8 was, like, being in the middle. Dark and light, be in the middle. What if he was like, fuck it, First Order of Resistance? Nah, I'm in the middle. Like, he took what's his name? The
dude? Yeah,
the guy they meet on the
Guillermo
casino.
del Toro's.
Yeah, his character was just like, don't take teams, you know?
Benito
I feel like
del
that
Toro.
was supposed to be like a continuation, but they didn't, you know, JJ, whoever brought him back in episode 9 and just made him yell Ray again.
Well, the issue that they did when producing it was, JJ, you're going to make the movie you want. All right, Ryan, you're gonna make the movie you want, and then you're gonna make the movie you want. That's not how you make a trilogy. You gotta have some cohesive vision all across. Yeah, you hire directors to give their spin, but you want to make sure that, like, from the beginning when you hire these directors, like, all right, we know this character is gonna go to here. How do we get there? It's your job to figure that out.
Yeah,
it's like,
I understand they should have like a general outline, but I don't think the Dark Knight, that trilogy, didn't have an outline. Christopher Nolan approached each one that was like, you know, we should just be lucky we're doing this. Let's just make one movie.
Well, but that's different because that's all from him. So there's even if it's not outlined,
still from the same mind.
Yeah, it's got a creative a creative focus from him. Whereas, like, you have Colin Trevorrow, who does different style than JJ.
Yeah, I only know Colin from Jurassic World.
And so do I. I was trying to think.
That's all I know.
Trying to think of another thing he did that.
I know he has more work, but I know he did a movie after that I don't think did as good in the box office.
Yeah.
But I know he's coming back for the next one.
Yeah, no.
Dominion.
But he's there's just 3 completely different style filmmakers that there was no, like, they should have just had JJ do all 3, honestly. Because JJ has the Star Wars kind of, like, blockbuster action type style.
Yeah, he does.
Because the Star Trek reboots they made were Star Wars movies without the Force. Like, he took... Because Star Trek isn't really like that. I hear that, like... I hear that a lot. That, like, his Star Trek movies were, like, Like, it was more Star Wars. I've never seen them. I love them because I love Star Wars. But I understand why hardcore Star Trek fans are, like...
unhappy about it.
Yeah, because Star Trek was never about the action. It was about exploring these worlds and trying to... The boring parts of Episode 1 that everyone hates, the politics, that's Star Trek. You're exploring these planets, and sometimes action happens. But for the most part, like, the most popular Star Trek series is The Next Generation. Like... And Picard was not a fighter. He was always, like, the guy who talked out. Will Shatner, obviously the first captain, was a little bit more actiony, but Star Trek has a history of being more like, let's talk this out.
Okay. I think I've only seen Into Darkness. That was it. So that was, like, my only Star Trek movie. I did see the Into Darkness. JJ did that one. That was pretty much a remake of Wrath of Khan. Okay.
For the most part.
I liked it. Like, that was the one I've seen, but I have never seen any other Star Trek material.
I liked it, but... No, honestly, I liked that one. I just felt like it was a little bit too much like Wrath of Khan, because I felt like I'd watched the movie already. Because it was the second Star Trek movie of the original, like, back in the 70s, 80 movie series, is Khan, that whole thing. Like, he pretty much just did, like... The only thing he flipped was Kirk died at the end instead of Spock. But even then, they didn't even... Like, that last... The entire... Like, he comes back at the end. Like, in the original Wrath of Khan, Spock dies, and then the entire third movie is them trying to bring Spock back to life. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm a fucking Star Trek nerd.
I gotta go back and watch those then.
Yeah, but no, like, he's always had the style for Star Wars. He should have just had it. They should have given Rian Johnson his separate trilogy, or, like... Because I still would like to see...
I would like to see what a full JJ trilogy was, and then I would honestly like to see like a Rian Johnson trilogy. I was excited for each one to have like a different director. I thought it was gonna add some like different styles to like separate each one.
I just thought they were gonna have a little bit more organization on the writing end.
Yeah,
but shit happens. But
maybe
goddamn, we've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. We gotta get to a family barbecue.
I just keep looking at the Anakin Skywalker picture. Is what I've just been sitting here looking at it. It just popped up, and I just like.
Let's post up that meme real quick. I'm gonna pop that up right here.
Right there. Right
make sure you text it to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Anakin Skywalker. We can end that there.
That's good.
But yeah, shout out to this podcast, episode My Crazy Podcast, episode 92. I'm Matt. Who are you?
Giggity.
Colin.
And I'm Matt for sake. We'll see you guys next week.